And she brings up a great point on this, Hannah, on the fact that it is starting to bring in transgender rights. And we've seen sort of a backlash have come about recently with those in transition transgender athletes getting females or transgendering into females competing with the girls, beating the girls, taking girls' scholarships away. A lot of conservatives are saying this is showing that feminists is actually broken, that we've broken the system. It's actually hurting women, some of the attributes of the modern feminist movement. How do you feel about this issue?
Well, I think largely these are things that the government shouldn't be deciding in the first place. These are issues for private businesses to determine, and I think that that's totally within their rights. I think the government should obviously not be discriminating. But again, I think we have laws in place that do prevent that very thing from happening. And so when we see new laws like this come about, I have to really dig a bit deeper and question again what the need is for them, because we have laws that make sure we have equal pay. We have laws that make sure that people cannot be discriminated based on their sex. And so there's something obviously a bit more going on behind the scenes here. And I think that one reason you see people pushing for these kinds of laws is for the very ability to be able to say, look, Republicans don't care about women. We've told you they don't have women's interests at heart, and to really sort of try to further divide that line in the sand that they've been pretty successful at doing in this country at times.
But that's the thing, Hannah.
I also think...
Well, hold on. We do have those laws, but it's still in place. You are still seeing where a man does make more than a woman in certain cases, and when they're doing the exact work. We're still, because unfortunately we don't have the transparency there where you have to put on paper, this is what the man makes, this is what the woman makes. I've never actually seen anybody go to jail because they paid the man more. We don't have that transparency. Is it unrealistic to think that we could ever see that?
I think that we do, actually. I would push back pretty heavily on that fact. I think if you look at the studies, we see that we do have equal pay. The discrepancy that we see is when you're comparing averages, and those averages are not taking into account the fact that women choose different career paths, that women are more likely to take time away from the workforce, that women are more drawn to fields such as social work that tend to pay a bit lower, and teaching. And so if you actually are to compare jobs and look at the median income, we don't see a discrepancy in the pay. It's mere pennies that we see. So I think it's important to distinguish on that. But to that end, if we do have pay discrepancy, if there are issues where people are being discriminated against based on their sex and all things are equal, then we have a process where they can go before the courts and they can actually press charges and push for litigation that would ratify that for them.
And then